Gilles Garnier, more commonly known as the Werewolf of Dole, was a notorious French serial killer and cannibal who was active during 1572. Gilles lived most of his life as a hermit, until one day he met a woman in a local village, the pair being quickly married. But this marriage would not be easy for Gilles, as he was not content to leave his isolated life in the woods for the opportunities of village life, as his wife wanted. It was this decision that would eventually become his undoing, as Gilles would find it more and more difficult to feed two mouths instead of just himself off of what he collected in the woods where he lived. During this period, Gilles would venture out into the forest, and one evening, in an attempt to look for food for himself and his wife, came face to face with what he called a specter, who would offer him a deal to ease his current troubles. It was during this meeting that the specter allegedly offered Gilles a special ointment that would allow the man to turn into a werewolf whenever he applied it, helping him to become a better hunter and to better provide for his new family. Now, the apparent transformation would in fact make Gilles a better hunter, so much so that he would turn his attention from the animals of the forest to the people of the nearby village. As the months progressed, several children in the village would go completely missing, while others would eventually turn up dead as authorities began to investigate the disappearances. The first child to be taken by Gilles came in October of 1572, in which he came across a 10-year-old playing just outside the city. He would drag the child into a local vineyard, strangled and undressed her, and then flayed and ate the flesh from the fatty parts of her arms and thighs. Seemingly remembering his wife during this, Gilles would save some of the flayed flesh and meat to take back home. This first attack would lead to apparent bloodlust, and Gilles would strike again only weeks later. But this time, he would be seen in the act. Gilles attacked another young girl and bit and clawed at her during the attack, as if he was in the process of trying to devour her. The only thing that interrupted the attack was a passerby coming across Gilles mid-attack. Unfortunately, the injuries sustained by that attack would be too much for the young girl. She would die from her injuries only a few days later, thanks to the lack of proper medical care of the time. It was this attack that would set the town into a frenzy and help lead to the province issuing an edict allowing the locals to apprehend or kill the werewolf that they thought was responsible for the attack. Gilles would eventually be captured by a group of workers traveling from one town to the other. But before that, he would strike again and take several more children over the preceding months. It's noted that he would kill and eat a 10-year-old boy that November, tearing off one of his legs to save for meat. He would then attack another boy and was again interrupted by villagers who were out traveling, leaving the body before he could finish eating and flaying it. Gilles would strike 2 more times before capture, attacking a boy he noticed passing by, violently tearing him in half and eating and tearing at the organs inside of the body in horrific fashion. His final attack would take place early the next year, in which he strangled another young girl he came upon. He cannibalized her like the others, and would once again remove a leg to take back for meat for both him and his wife. Gilles would eventually be captured and testify about the specter who gave him the power to turn into a werewolf, and admit to the murders of several children, giving us much of the accounts in this story. The trial itself was notable, as more than 50 witnesses stated that they saw, noticed, or heard that Gilles attacked the children and was seen eating their flesh in both human and werewolf form. The trial itself was also carried out in a secular manner, and not by the Inquisition, which was popular at the time, because superstition was not something judged by said Inquisition. In the end, Gilles would be convicted of crimes of lycanthropy and witchcraft, and be burned at the stake for his crimes. Thank you for watching this episode of Case Files. If you like what you saw, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, as that is the best way to help this channel continue to grow. And until next time, stay safe and never stop learning.